In this video, we're going to discuss some of the benefits of standalone components. The biggest benefit that I see is lazy loading. So to reduce the size of your code, you could lazy load pieces. Let me illustrate. Let's go over to the code and look at see how this is done. So this is Angular 19 here. Angular version 14 is when this capability was first introduced. Let me show you the size reduction here. So this is the initial load size here because of the lazy loading. And you can see these individual pieces here. Now, used to be you would lazy load using a module. So everything related to that module could be packaged as a chunk. So if you don't lazy load, you won't get these chunks, and you'll have it all up in here, and this will get really large. Let's discuss the lazy loading many routes at one time. Now I haven't done this, but this is more like it used to be. So you would load children. The key difference is you're loading a component here, and here you're loading children. So this is going to point to another routes, and that routes module will be what loads. If you go and look at the code here, this is our app routes. You can have many routes, and so if I had a feature, and let's say demos had a module, I could have a routes here also, but since it's standalone, I don't need to do that. I can just have a routes here without the module. And with that, I can have this routes here look for child, and here's the import statement, and this is going to load that import, where up here it's loading the component. So this is loading a component, and this is loading children. So in this case, what I've done is I've added the demo routes, and I've changed the app routes. So here's app routes. I took out all the demo routes you see here. I got rid of all the load component. I could still do that here if I wanted to, but I'm doing load children, and this will load all of these routes together. So they will all load as one chunk. So they will all load as one chunk. And these are the chunks down here that we see. So this is going to change once we redo this. Now let's go. One thing to note here, our path is changing. So our menu is no longer valid. So here's the route. So it should be demo, input filter. Let's look at this one. This is reactive forms. That one hasn't changed. So I got to add /d on the front of that scrollable page. Demo. Now why am I putting demo? Why am I putting demo on the front of these? That is because this has now been added. So that's new in the path, in the route path. And then it goes into the rest of it. So we see reactive form hasn't changed. So reactive forms is still the same. Everything else is the same till we get down to documentation. Documentation is going external. So that menu there is completely external. And let's rerun this. Let's see if there's any errors. There's no errors. And notice the change. We used to have several, now there's only these, and here's demo routes. So demo routes is quite large. Okay, so that's quite large now. We moved a lot, so if I had the components, it would be smaller. So let's go try out, let's go to the web, and let's try this page. Here's the demos. Now input filter. Notice it says demo input filter. Scrollable page, demo, scrollable page. If I go back here to entry form, it just says reactive forms entry form. Let's go back here now to demos. Let's go to color palette. Here's demo color palette. Let's go back to the code now. And let's make another change. Okay. I did this off camera just so that it wouldn't take up so much time in the video, but here I have added, this is in the demo routes. Let's get rid of that. So this is in the demo routes, and I'm doing a load component. So here's the demo routes, it shrunk. Here's the input component. Now this next one I'm going to do right here so you guys can see it. And let's go to scrolling. I think that's the next one. Yep. Scrollable page. And what we're going to do is we're going to modify this. Let's move this one over. And we're going to change this to load component. And import, and that's scrolling, scrollable dash page, and then scrollable page component. Keeps wanting to put module in there, but I got component in there. And then we want dot then, and we want that in there. Close that off. And let's rebuild this, and you'll see this shrink down some more, and another one come out here. Another component in the chunk. So now we have scrollable, so this went down in size. It erases it so we don't see it. So it went down in size. So this is how you can reduce the size of your application, by just going through this and making sure that everything is small enough that it's going to fit in memory and read. Well, the main thing is that you want it small enough that the download time is not too long. If your app has a big download, your users are going to get disinterested and go elsewhere, or complain if this is an app that they have to use. So you want to maximize your performance as much as possible. So let's go ahead and add the rest of these in there just to show you how this reduces even more. So we've got 27.60. We're going to see that one go down now. So the color palette, that's a big one. Okay, went to component, good. Let's save that. And see, it went down. Okay, so it's 27. I'm going to rebuild. The demo routes will get smaller. So demo routes, it was 27, now it's 10. So you can see your raw size. These are, when you go to one of these pages, you're downloading this JS file, JavaScript file. And so we've reduced the raw size of this phenomenally by just chunking things into these lazy loading. And I strongly suggest you do this. I'm going to do the rest of these now because it really helps. And as you see, it's not a huge change. It's just a little bit that needs to be done here. So the AI that's built in is figuring this out. I just hit Tab to continue on. If your editor's not doing it, you may not have AI, or it may be still learning. And when I first started on this particular file here, instead of component, it was doing module, because that's what I used to load all the time. Now it's learned that, oh, you want component and not module, which is nice. All right, so this is at 10.51. This is demo routes. Let's see if we can get that down even more now. So demo routes, it's a lot smaller. It's a lot smaller. And so you have several JS files. And this is the main. So this part up here is always going to load. And this is the size of that initial load. And then as you need them, these will load. Now, this is download size. Don't worry about your RAM size in the user's workstation. That it is important, but that's not what this is about. This right here is about your download size, and this will help improve your download, the performance of your app. I hope this video has helped you. Please like and subscribe, and we will continue to make more videos. Thank you.